Hi and welcome to Expondo Gastro Experts. Today we're continuing with promotion and image, and we'll be talking about paid ways to promote your food truck. My name is Michał Orłowski. Let's have a look. So, as usual, let me remind you this program is being streamed live, so please use our live chat, keep asking questions, let us know what you think. You can also use the email address, which you have the address here. The more you ask questions, the more we talk about it, the better we will cover the subject, which is today, again, paid ways to promote your food truck. So quite frequently I'm getting, when I'm talking with food truck owners and people who are working in this industry, that, paid ways to promote the food trucks. It's just a food truck. We don't need it. That's what they're saying. Because first thing that comes to mind when you talk about paid ways to promote, you're talking about thinking about commercials in a TV or in a radio, which are quite frankly really expensive, and people fear that they're not going to convert, which means you're not going to see the money result in the end, while multiplying costs. This is true, but there's so much more to paid promotion than just commercials and advertisements and TV, magazines and radios. When we're talking about paid ways to promote your food truck, we're talking about posters, we're talking about flyers, we're talking about tastings, and one of the best things to do is a sponsored promoted article on a website or on a newspaper as well. So with a printer or virtual doesn't really matter, but it's a great way to promote your business. First of all, it comes in a very nice package, as in you include the promotion of your business into a story within an article. So you talk about your business, talk about your experiences whilst promoting your food truck. So basically, what can you write in such an article? It's quite simple. If you're doing something special, or if you are putting a lot of effort in it, if you have a story yourself, as in you have experience in different countries, why not mentioning it? If you are having, for instance, when you're having a burger shop or burger food truck, and you've sourced your products out of a boutique farms, specializing in a particular breed, or doing something really special, or giving the animals special treatment, and you getting products that are really cool, just mention it. What's normal and obvious for you, it's not very obvious for all the outside world. So let everyone know. And people like those articles because they don't look like advertisements. People are sick and tired of advertisements, so you can sort of smuggle it in a really nice and well combined package. The other thing is paid advertising on Facebook. We've been talking about 3 ways to promote your food truck on social media. But now let me say something about Facebook and paid promotion. First of all, you can specifically target your group, as in your target group. You have your target customers, so you can specifically send the advertisement to a particular group of people. So divided in categories of age, gender, profession, interests, and so. Before you go somewhere, you can actually make an accurate promotion for the people it could be actually interested for. So it's worth to do it once in a while. I'm not saying you should invest a lot in it, but actually before you go somewhere, and I'm saying it is quite a lot and frequently I'm repeating it, you have to increase your chances. Hospitality is a game of chances, so the more you do, the better you end up with. All right, also Google Ads, that's another thing. So it doesn't need to be really expensive. You don't need to screen your advertisements all over the place. You can use one of a few options, like for example in the CPM method. So where you're paying for every 1,000 views of your commercial, of your advertisement, or you can do CPC, which is cost per click. So you have to pay only for the clicks that made it through. So someone clicked on your banner, went to your website, and for that you have to pay. So it's kind of like really cost effective. Then you can measure what the interest is actually for your website and your product. So that's kind of cool as well. It gives you additional data, and well, it reaches a lot of people. Another way, paid way of promotion is to use the apps. In every country there's a lot of apps, applications for the mobile that are giving information to the customers, to your potential customers, and of course to you as a business owner. So there's a couple of applications that actually show where the best business is, where something's going on, and they also provide the information that is normally excluded for stationary restaurants, as in opening times, menu. They also give the chance to order online. So you kind of make the whole way shorter of ordering. You can just order online, and you just run for the food truck. You know exactly where it is, you know its opening hours, and you just pick up your order. Or you can even make a delivery, set up a delivery. So that's really helpful, and it's good to be there. So you have to just, you know, check what the conditions are. But from my own experience, the sales will increase if you take part in these application projects. The last but not least, it's something that I've actually been through, and I've seen the effectivity of this method. Namely, I'm talking about the cooperation with some bloggers. I know it has the subject has a bad stigma these days, because there's been cases where so-called influencers were trying to scam the places of, you know, for freebies, while offering, you know, promotion on their blog, Instagram profile, or whatever account, I mean. But it actually pays off, especially when you are starting your business and your venture. What it means, if you're going somewhere, it is good to contact a local blogger or local influencer to invite them on a bartered kind of thing, you know, promotion for food or for a voucher, for a mentioning your place in his article. And it's much better to work with regional and local bloggers and influencers rather than working with the big names in the industry, because basically the fan base of a local influencer is much more loyal and much more active, and it's giving much better results on a local market. So let's say if you're going somewhere to a particular city, just to increase your chances, write to an influencer, invite them for a meal, let them know what the products are, let them write what's good in your place, and you'll see that after a while, just increasing your presence will give effects in the form of queues in front of your food truck. So that's what we're doing it for. All right, I see there's questions coming in, so let's switch into Q&A mode. All right, first a couple of questions came through email. All right, from Robert. I have a small food truck. Does paid advertising pay off? When will such investment pay for itself? All right, let me put it to you this way. First of all, it all depends on your budget. So you have to pick and choose what you actually can do. So it is really hard to measure it in advance. So no source would tell you, like, you know, how much to invest in order to get a particular result. It's measured in time. So you first have to do it, and then you see the effect, or you don't. But all the research says you will see the effect, and commercials will pay off eventually. It's something like, you know, your whole image building and whole process of promotion pays off in time, and it works for you, for your company and for your venture from the start throughout your history up to the very end. So you need to be vigilant and you need to be consequent. However, you don't want to go broke before you even get started. So let's think of it this way. An advertisement on, let's say, MTV will give you the reach, will give you the access to a massive public, to a massive you know, audition. But then again, it will be terribly expensive, and even though you reach so many people, not many people from a country on the other side of the world will actually visit your food truck in that particular city in a particular moment. So it will not pay off. However, investing in a little money, really, to visit a student radio station in the city, or to write a sponsored article, or to send some flyer and some posters in advance before you actually open your food truck in a particular city, will pay off. Again, it all depends on your budget. All right, Mary J. How much should you spend on paid promotion? Are there any indicators that will help you determine how much you need to succeed? Well, in regards to the previous question, there's no indicators, there's no way of telling how much you should invest. There's, like, I had an expert the other day on paid promotion, and he kind of confirmed what I was thinking before. So there's no upper limit. You can go as high as you wish, but sometimes there's no point of doing so. So it all depends on your budget, on how much money you're willing to spend. So what you can do, basically you can sort of estimate in advance. If you're going to a particular event, you know how many people there's going to be, approximately. But you know, if you're talking about thousands, then you know there's going to be thousands of people. You know there's going to be so and so much competition there, because the lineup of food trucks on a particular event is known far in advance. So you know how much competition, you know how many potential customers, you know how much product you have prepared. So you can prepare a optimistic, pessimistic and a really realistic scenario of how much money you will make on that particular event. And you can sort of adjust and tell how much money you're going to make, how much money of it you can invest into promotion in order to increase your chances on that event to break through your competition. So you don't get broke before you even open your doors. In saying so, that's for all the food trucks and for the businesses that are starting. If you've already been to a particular event before, so for the ones that already been working, they've been on the market, they've been through a lot, you gather historical data all the time. Like, do not underestimate historical data. This will tell you how to prepare for a future event, and it will tell you how much you can invest on promotion and image building on each individual particular event. So that's how you can proceed and go about it. All right, I have a question from Josh. How much should I invest in the beginning for promotion if I have a low budget? As my expert confirmed, and as I said already before, there is no set amount of money. Nobody will tell you, all right, you have to invest, let's say, $100 or £100, and that will be enough, or it will not be enough, or you have invested more or less. The thing is to do something. So you're using all the free ways to promote your food truck, and then you see what and how much you can invest. And you have to assume success. Always. Be prepared for everything, like for the worst, but always assume success and aim for success. In saying so, if you assume success and if you assume that you're going to have so much revenue of that particular event, you can adjust your budget for promotion and marketing. And it's really worth to do so, because I was saying it so many times and I repeat it and I keep repeating it. Gastronomy and hospitality industry is a game of chances, and you have to increase your chances everywhere you can and every time you can. So if you have even let's say 50 bucks, get some flyers, get a poster, and you know, just aim for a particular place. Like if you know if the concert ground where you're gonna stand with your food truck is on the outskirts of the city, make sure that, you know, on the way, when everyone goes to the place, he will see a couple of posters. There doesn't need to be much. If you are visiting a particular city, make sure you arrive a couple hours earlier and you just hand out flyers. Listen, the cost of 100 flyers is close to none. It's really low. It doesn't need to be even very professionally made. So a computer printer, a nice cool design, you already have your logo, you have your name, you have your branding, so just make sure it all is on the flyer. Prices, menu, that's it, and hand it out to 100 people. You don't know, maybe they weren't even supposed to visit the concert ground, or they weren't even about to visit. They didn't know about you before. Since you handed them the flyer, the chance that they're going to visit you is much higher than before, so always worth it. All right, Tricky Joe, what about offline promotion, like article or ad in local newspaper before event that happens in town? Absolutely, that is the way to go. Not everyone you know, goes on the internet. I know it's more and more common, but there's a lot of people who don't use internet, or they're allergic to advertisement in the internet. They use applications or, you know, apps to block the ads. So there's a huge chance they won't even see your advertisement. If you advertise in the local newspaper, yeah, it reaches pretty much everyone in the city, and there's a huge chance such an article in a newspaper will reach a lot of people, and sometimes even convince those who do not partake in, you know, in this culture. They do not visit food trucks. Once they've read it, that in the city there's a food truck serving, I don't know, beautiful Mexican food, like, you know, authentic. Maybe you convince them to come in. So increase your chances every time you can, everywhere you can. Josh, and in percent from my general budget, the way I understand your question, Josh, you take a percentage of your budget that you want to, you know, dedicate to promotion. I wouldn't go as far as percentage, because that can change every time. I would go for a set amount that will give me a particular result. Although, you know, handling in percentage, well, it's just as risky as, you know, having a set amount, to be honest with you. So I like to have like a set amount, because every time I can just calculate it in my cost. Like, you know, I know how much I prepared, I know how much I'm gonna sell, like, you know, the most. And I have a set amount, so I can divide it into my products, include it in the price, and basically, you know, the paid promotion is already paid for, right? So that's kind of the way to do it. Tricky Joe, no worries, that's what I'm here for. All right, so if it comes to paid promotion, tastings, I'll be talking about tasting as well. That's a very cool way of paid promotion. Of course, it's paid because you have to purchase the ingredients, you have to pay for the workforce that made the product, and of course you have to distribute it as well, and everything that's cost. But I'll be talking about it really explicitly in the next episode. But absolutely, tasting a great form of promotion too. Josh, yes, is there a limit what I shouldn't exceed? No, there's no upper limit. It's only about calculation. How much am I going to win? How much am I willing to not lose, to pay? So it's all about the estimation of winnings and costs. It's not, if a food truck is not a non-profit organization, you always have to earn some money out of it. So be wary of it. You don't want to over-invest because you need to pay the bills, unless you have a secure cache of money in order to pay for all the costs for the initial period. But rarely anyone does. So just make sure you do not exceed a certain limit. But as I said, if you have the budget, sky is the limit. All right, you can do whatever. But I'm just saying, it's better to build and to gather knowledge, so you actually make, you cannot predict everything. It's always going to be educated guesses. But then again, the more you know, the educated guesses will be more and more accurate. All right, Tricky Joe. I think that if you have some leaflets printed, you can always hire someone to hand them to people during first days. Absolutely, yeah. Leaflets and flyers, fantastic way. I'm not a great fan of leaflets and flyers, to be honest with you, just for environmental reasons. I think it's damaging the environment. So I like to print out a certain number, not too many. I know people go in thousands because it's really cheap. But then again, I like to make a more targeted promotion, so hand the leaflets to particular people. So just do not trust, people, hired people, because if you hire someone, his only task is to hand out flyers, and he hands it out to everyone. If you go in the city yourself as the owner, you're always reducing costs. Obviously, if you can do it, you have to hire someone. But I reckon you achieve much better results if you do it yourself. If you hand out the flyers to certain people who you see, you need in hospitality generally, you need to learn how to read people, and you need to target them specifically. And if you go them and hand them out the flyer, say something about your product, say something about yourself, say something about your company, in this case your food truck, and just convince them and make sure they like you. Likability is a huge factor. I've been talking about it so many times, and I'll keep repeating it as well. Love mark. Keep working on your love mark wherever you can, and we will work for you. All right, Tricky Joe. Okay, it's still the same during the first day, so they spread the news. Okay. And Josh, okay, I'll try my, absolutely. It's such an underestimated subject, the promotion and image building, especially if it comes to food trucks. I cannot say how many times I heard, I'm just a food truck, I'm visiting every city for 2 or 3 days every year. Maybe I will not come next year, maybe I'll come in 2 years, everybody will forget about me. Yeah, that's because you don't have marketing. The examples of the largest companies in the world, they show marketing and promotion is a huge thing, and that's actually the leverage to grow. Because, every large company started somewhere. McDonald's, it used to be a family-run company. It was just a burger shop. They made a huge effort to grow. Same for any other company. Like Coca-Cola was just a soda shop back in the day. So make sure you work on it the whole time, and assume your own success and keep working on it. Tricky Joe, yeah, people often throw them away, but try to do it during lunch hours nearby your food truck. Exactly, that's the way to do it. Do not hand out flyers to everyone. If you give it to I don't want to diss anyone, but if you're running a food truck with spicy Mexican hot dogs with some secret salsas, super spicy, and you hand it out to a older lady, the chance that she's gonna visit your food truck is rather slim to none, I'd say. But if you're passing by some couple of students, why not? Just give them the flyer. During lunchtime, fantastic. If you're in the neighborhood, make sure they visit you, because they usually, if it comes to food trucks, you go in for a particular event and they're usually in the afternoon. So if you're starting for lunchtime, make sure you spread the news, you invite some guests, make sure they try your food. First of all, the 31% of branding building is the taste only. So you're building up with, even with the saying, through your stomach to your heart. So that's the way to do it. The chances, if they like your product, that they come back are much, much higher if you do so. All right, I'll give you 30 more seconds or half a minute for another question, if there are any. So, because there are no more questions, I will wrap it up. I still remind you, if you're interested in the subject, you can go through our archive materials. We've been talking about promotion and image building, how to do the logo, how to do the name, how to do 3 ways to promote your food trucks, and so on. So you're very welcome to go through these materials. Also, I invite you for our future episodes. We'll be talking about tasting as a way to promote the food truck. We'll be also doing some product comparisons in the next couple of days. So feel free to join us for our next shows. On my behalf, I will thank you for your questions. Thank you very much for your participation. And I hope I see you next time.